of Black Americans and a time for recognizing the central role of African Americans in U.S. history. The event grew out of Negro History Week, the brainchild of noted historian Carter G. Woodson and other prominent African Americans. Today, let's celebrate African Americans, both past and present, who have amazed, encouraged, and inspired each one of us.
I was an educator who was chosen to organize an academic, agriculture, and industrial schools for African Americans in Tuskegee, Alabama. Under my direction, the Tuskegee Institute, now Tuskegee University, became one of the most leading African American institutions in America. Since Tuskegee's inception, many famous people have attended. Tom Joyner, Lionel Richie, Tracy Harper Jones, Tanisha Hillman, and Lakeith Glass. Who am I? I am Booker T. Washington.
I was a pastor at Union Baptist Church in Norwood, Georgia. That encouraged meetings and gatherings of a group called the Willing Workers Building Club. In 1937, this group met in my home. I am the first pastor of Hunter Hill First Baptist Church. Who am I? I am Reverend O.S. Dotson.
I found the National Council of Negro Women. I also found and merged the Daytona Institution for Girls. Later, I merged Cookman and is now known as Bethune-Cookman University. Who am I? I am Mary McLeod Bethune.
My husband was Reverend O.S. Dotson. I was a part of the Willing Workers Building Club. I am a founder of Hunt Hill First Baptist Church. And my daughter, Helen D. Gray, and her grandchildren still faithfully come to this church. Who am I? I am Sister Della Dotson.
Who say women can't fly? I was born in Atlanta, but not Georgia, Atlanta, Texas. I was the world's first licensed African-American pilot, and yes, I was a woman. I was known as Queen Bess, and in 1995, the U.S. Postal Service issued a stamp honoring me. Who am I? I am Bessie Coleman.
I was the first deacon to be ordained after moving the church from Reverend O.S. Dotson's home to 1300 Eastern Street. I was the first chairman of the deacon board. Who am I? I am Deacon W. Dotson.
Baseball was my thing, and Cairo, Georgia is my birthplace. I was the first African American baseball player to play in the major minor leagues. I was the first African American baseball player to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Who am I? I am Jackie Robinson.
I was the wife of Deacon B.W. Dotson. I was a member of choir number 1 and served in the mother's board. Who am I? Sister May Rose Dotson.
This lady sung blues and some songs like reach out and touch somebody's hand, make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand, make this world a better place. If you can, who am I? I am Diana Ross.
I was a Baptist preacher who also was in the Civil Rights Movement. I helped Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. organize the Montgomery Bus Boycott. In Atlanta, you might take a drive down the street named in my honor. Who am I? I am Ralph David Abernathy.
I preached the first sermon to the Willing Workers Building Club. I was also the first minister to be ordained under the leadership of Reverend O.S. Dotson. Who am I? I am Reverend N.K. Kinsey.
I was
born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, a Morehouse graduate, pastor, and civil rights leader. I led the Montgomery bus boycott, organized nonviolent protests, and organized the March on Washington, where I delivered still one of the most famous speeches ever. I have a dream. My day is celebrated every third Monday of the month of January. Who am I? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I was the pastor of New Hope Baptist Church. I presided as mediator on Eastern Street. Who am I? I am Reverend I.T. Turner.
I am a writer and a performer. You may recognize some of my work. I know why the caged bird sings and words from my poem still outrise. Bringing the gift that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. I read my poem on the Post of the Morning at the inauguration of President Clinton. Who am I? I am Maya Angelou.
I organized and was named the first Sunday school superintendent. I am also one of the first deacons to be ordained in the new location on Easton Street. Who am I? I am V.W. Dotson.
As a child, I suffered from polio and wore braces until I was 9, but that wouldn't stop me. I attended Tennessee State University on a track scholarship, and I was known as one of the TSU Tiger Bells. I was considered the fastest woman in the world, and I was the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in 1 Olympics. Who am I? I am Wilma Rudolph.
I serve faithfully on the Mother's Board. I have a daughter who currently serves faithfully on the Mother's Board at Hunter Hill First Missionary Baptist Church. You might know her. Her name is Charlotte Warrior. Who am I? I am Sister Marion Palmer.
I am a dancer and a choreographer. I am best known for my work with the Alvin Ailey's Dance Company from 1965 to 1980. In 1990, I became the director of Alvin Ailey's Dance Company. Who am I? I am Judith Jameson.
I organized and was president of the first choir. My daughter, Mary, was the pianist. I purchased the first piano for the church. I was a deaconess and served on the Mother's Board. I currently have 3 active daughters here at Hunter Hill: Ruth Tillman, Martha Brown, Frankie Kemp, and a host of many grand, great, and great-grandchildren here at Hunter Hill. Who am I? I am Mother Ruby Winfrey.
And the dream still lives on. I'm a former senator from Chicago who became the first African American to be elected as President of the United States in 2008 and was reelected for his second term in 2012. I'm the 44th president, and on January 21st, 2012, I was honored by taking my oath using the Bible of a man who stood for equality for everyone. Who am I? I am President Barack Obama.